Let's get an update from down on the ground there. We're going to be joined by Fox Weather's Max Gordon. He's in the Twin Cities with an update. Max, what are residents there going to expect with this latest storm?
Well, the National Weather Service issuing a pretty interesting message. They're saying that this is going to be a historic storm. They don't use those terms very often, but we're talking about up to 21 inches of snow here in the Twin Cities, so nearly 2 feet of snow. That's on the high end of the totals. And we're talking about 2 rounds of snow. So we're going to have this initial round that's already hitting us tonight, and then we're going to have an even stronger round of snow after a slight lull tomorrow. So we're talking about a lot of snow here. We've seen our live shot background change over the past few hours, where we've had some very heavy bands of snow move in, and then now you can see once again the skyline of Minneapolis revealing itself. Very beautiful. But really the message that officials have been trying to drive home is that over the next 2 days, if you don't have to be out and about, just stay home. So people have been going and hunkering down, getting ready, going out to the grocery store, the hardware store. This is what they had to say.
I picked up a lot of water, some food, some fruits, some nuts, just basic essentials that if the storm does hit, that I don't have to run to the store.
We've been packed here in the store and on the phone. 5 times busier, easily. I mean, it's just crazy because everything starts to go.
Now, as soon as we landed here in Minneapolis, my photographer and I, we did go to the store, tried to stock up on some provisions. We also went to a hardware store to get some odds and ends. You know, shelves weren't exactly barren. There's still plenty of food left, but they were pretty busy. A lot of folks coming on in and, you know, getting what they need for the next few days. You know, to put this storm in context, really what this is being compared to is back in 2010, they had what they call the Dome Buster storm. That was a storm that actually caved in the roof, the inflatable roof of the Metrodome. That was where the Vikings used to play. And there's video that you're probably playing right now of the snow coming on in as this dome collapsed. The Giants versus Vikings game had to be moved to a different location because of this Dome Buster storm. And really what that storm was indicative of is just how heavy snow can be. There's around 17 inches of snow that fell, and we're talking about tons of weight on buildings that can really cause a lot of stress. So we'll see what sort of damage this storm deals as it moves into the area and as it puts down a whole lot of snow, up to 21 inches of snow expected once again. We're also going to be talking about very high winds at times. When we look at the western part of the state, we're going to be looking at some blizzard warnings, winter storm warning here in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, a serious storm. And once again, the message from officials is stay home, because first responders are going to be severely delayed when it comes to getting out and responding to emergencies. You know, fire officials said that it could take them 4 times as long to get out to emergencies as normal because road conditions are going to be so bad, and also because they're going to be responding to just so many calls. So a serious situation that's going to be unfolding here in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. A lot of snow expected. Andrew?
Okay, but Max, you know, these residents, this is just an everyday February for them, isn't it? I mean, they're used to winter storms like this time of year.
Well, definitely, you know, a hardy bunch of folks here in Minneapolis and in Minnesota in general. But this storm, though, it could rank among the top 5 snowstorms in Minneapolis, St. Paul's history, in the Twin Cities history. So even though this is a part of the country that does get a lot of snow, this isn't just going to be your average winter storm. This is going to be pretty serious.
All right, Max Gordon there live for us in the Twin Cities. Max, thanks so much. Stay warm, stay safe.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, we do want to keep it moving here as well. We have some other reporters for us at Fox 9 in Minneapolis standing by as well. Just want to put up this, our X-RAD system, and you can see the temperatures kind of hovering over the Twin Cities and what this storm is going to look like. You just heard from Max. It could rank in the top 5 of these winter storm systems. In the meantime, let's go out now to Fox 9's Paul Bloom He's standing by as well. We have Paul in pretty snowy conditions. Paul, good to see you. It's been a while. And you heard there Max's report. What are residents telling you? What can they expect?
Well, I caught the tail end. I don't know if Max is from Minnesota. Andrew, good to be with you. I'm in the Minneapolis suburb of St. Louis Park, so kind of the western edge of the big city of Minneapolis. And I was here in 2010 when the Metrodome roof collapsed, and it was a lot of snow, but that was an inflatable type of structure that sort of collapsed under the weight of the snow. The officials aren't so much worried about the amount of snow that will fall today on building structures. That was sort of a unique situation that day with that 17 plus inches that fell. Now, what's interesting about this storm is we're going to get it in 2 waves. So today, 6, 8, 10 inches, depending on where you live in the metro region. Then there'll be this lull on Wednesday, and then all of a sudden we're going to just get pummeled by blizzard-like conditions. So I heard your question for Max, like, yeah, Minnesotans are hardy, but this storm front, this sort of double punch, is going to really have an impact. And when it is all said and done, if we get 20 plus inches, I think 22 would put us in that top 2 or 3 category for a snowfall. That would be remarkable. I'm from the East Coast originally. We don't get those ocean-fed storms where snow just falls on top of each other. We get a lot of 6-inch storms, but we don't necessarily get the, upwards of 2 feet. So what's interesting today is I was on the school kind of beat today. Most schools had school all day today. They got kids out of there 2, 3 o'clock, usual dismissal time. But school districts, the major school districts, have all gone ahead and canceled classes in person tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday as well. Some have already said Friday, no school, let's bring the kids back on Monday and give crews time to really clean up the roads. So schools, the advice, as Max mentioned from state officials, have a plan, no time to panic, but have a plan. And if the plan involves staying off the roads, the better, because that way the plows can get through here. The cities are particularly worried. The urban core cities, they don't want all those neighborhood streets filled with cars that kind of narrow those lanes already. They want all the cars off of the roads. The cities are both making public ramps available for free parking for residents, so residents can move their cars, get them off those roads to give plows the free access. Because when it's all said and done, you're talking 20 plus inches, you got to figure out where to put it all. So if they could have cars off the roads, Andrew, that would be perfect. So yeah, the advice that I took away from that news conference, I was in the room with state leaders today, was don't panic, have a plan, and take this one seriously. Yes, we're used to winter storms, but this one will be remarkable when it's all said and done.
Yeah, Paul, we showed some of that press conference earlier. We're going to replay some of it. But what you're saying is it seems like the resources, the utilities that are available to monitor and get the snow out of the way once it's done falling is in place.
We do have the infrastructure. MSP International Airport, I'm not going to say isn't going to close or we'll have shutdowns of runways during the next few days, but we're just one of those places that is prepared for this type of storm. But again, it's above and beyond what we're accustomed to. So they need help. They were honest. They need help. Help would mean staying off the road, so you don't have to put the National Guard out into western Minnesota where there's nothing blocking the wind and blizzard-like conditions, and running emergency crews out to get families out of a stranded vehicle out on the roads. They want to focus on what they can do, what they do best, which is clear snow, keep the roads open, and that's the mission here. So it was sort of this don't panic, but be prepared. They talked about spending time at home these next couple days, making sure paths out to the road are clear. Don't let drifts pile up at your front door to make it hard to get out of your house. Stuff like that. Carbon monoxide. Make sure your carbon monoxide monitors are working in the house. Make sure pipes are clear, exhaust pipes, those kinds of things. So yeah, this was just kind of that checklist of remember where we live and be ready.
All right, Paul Bloom there outside of Minneapolis. Paul, we appreciate your time and your reporting, and definitely stay safe out there. We'll talk again.
You bet. Thank you, Andrew.
All right, we do have some live looks from around the Twin Cities, this in Winter Bear Lake. We also have a driving shot as well from one of our other Fox 9 Minneapolis cameras in the car there. So, like Paul was alluding to, we want to go ahead and show you a little bit more of that press conference from local and state leaders. Before we do just that, take a look at this. This is a really cool shot there in Minneapolis, kind of a skyline view of the snow as it comes down. We also have kind of a river vantage point as well there.